Hoggie's beer reviews. Hoggie's beer reviews. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another one of Hoggie's beer reviews. And as you can see, this is not your typical beer review. Because even though I'm lumping it all into one video and one review, this is technically 3 different reviews of 3 different beers, all of them from the country of Guatemala. All from the same brewery in Guatemala. For those who don't know, Guatemala is a Central American country just south of Mexico. These are beers that I would have never really picked up, if left to my own devices. Because for the most part, Latin American beers all suck. They all tend to be, for the most part, 90% of them tend to be adjunct lagers and, just fizzy yellow beers, much like, your Budweisers and your Coors and your Millers. So even though I live in South Florida and there are dozens of these Latin American beers available to me, I don't drink them, I don't review them because most of them really do suck. They're all made in the American adjunct lager mold, so I don't really bother with them. The thing with these beers is that one of my local supermarkets, a Winn-Dixie chain of supermarkets, they have this little cash back thing. Well, it's you get 5 cents off gasoline for every $50 you spend at the store. They have a thing with Shell gas stations and yeah. So I've been seeing this particular one, and this is called Mosa. It's a Bock beer, okay? But I've been seeing this at the Winn-Dixie by my job. I've been seeing it for about 2 months. They just had a whole end cap full of this stuff. And I was like, really? Okay. And I walked by. And I go last week and they had this for $4.99 the 6-pack. Plus you get an additional 5 cents off on the cash, on the gas perks or whatever. The thing is, I go to the Winn-Dixie close to my house and I see these guys. And I actually did a mix and match. This is the 6-pack of the Tikal Light. I took 3 of them out and put 3 of these in because they also had another 6-pack of this. This one is called Social. Both of these separate 6-packs were both $4.99 each, and both of them had the additional 5 cents off the fuel perks. So Winn-Dixie's trying to get rid of these fucking beers. But I couldn't help myself because when I looked, I said, holy crap, they're all from the same brewer. If you look, they all have, I don't know if you can see it, that little yellow star on the cap. These guys, same little yellow star. And these guys, also same little yellow star. So I said, you know what? I'm getting the 6-packs at $5 each, and I'm getting additional 5 cents off a gallon for my fuel, for my fill up. So I said, screw it. All these say brewed and bottled in Guatemala City by Cervecería Centroamericana, Central American Breweries. Imported by All Star Distributing, Landover, Maryland, product of Guatemala. Just to verify. This guy. Oh no, yeah, brewed and bottled by Cervecería Centroamericana, Guatemala City. Imported by Central Beer, imported and export, Miami, Florida. Well, whatever. Point is, they're all from Guatemala. They're all cheap, and they're all on my table. So let's drink them. Let's see, where should I start? Let's start with the light. And again, this is kind of cheap and quick and dirty, so I'm not going to do Beer Advocate. I'm pretty sure there's not too many ratings on Beer Advocate or Rate Beer. These beers, I'm sure, are not well known. But take a look at this one. We'll start with their light beer. This one is called Tikal. Y'all remember that, right? What's that shit that they be smoking? Tikal. If you don't remember that shit, don't ask. But yeah, Tikal Light. On the back it actually says calories 100, fat 0 grams, total carbs 11 grams, protein 0 grams. Okay, so this is their light beer. And it should be a twist off. Alright. So, I'm going to just, open one of each, review them, I'll end up drinking them, but just to give you an idea what's up with these beers, general impression, just kind of out of curiosity more than anything. And then I'll save the rest to just chug outside when it's hot and I'm grilling. Anyways, we start with the light beer. Oof. And it smells like a cheap, shitty light beer. Yeah, corn, heavy adjunct. Smells kind of like a Busch or a Natty, like a real cheap Anheuser-Busch product kind of thing. kind of lemony on the taste. Bit of lemongrass, but I don't know if that's like intentional or if that's like a little metallic-y quality byproduct nastiness. It's kind of sour. On one hand, that sourness is kind of refreshing. You know, like a lawnmower beer, you know, sourness can kind of be refreshing with the carbonation fizz, you know, when you're hot, sweaty, and thirsty. But I don't know if it's intentional or not, so I really don't want to drink any more of it. It's still kind of unpleasant. There's still a bit of that corny adjunct aftertaste nastiness that I don't like. So okay, there's your Tikal. Sucks. Let's go with this guy here. Let's try Social. Take a look at this guy. I guess you guys would call it social, but we call it social. Cerveza social. This label doesn't say anything important, so pop that one open. I caught a whiff of something straight from the bottle, and it was not pleasant. I hate to be kind of, you know, mean or take unnecessary shots, but really the whiff I caught smelled like shit. So I don't know what to expect here. This one is also really light yellow golden straw, super crystal clear. I can see the birds flying into the trees through the window and across the street through the beer. So yeah, I don't expect much here either. It's about the same, really strong corn veggie adjunct smell. Again, smells like smells worse than Bush or Natty would. While this one does have a little bit more body, by like hairs, but it does have a little more body and a little more richness than the Tikal Light did. It's still thin, watery, and crappy, and it has that lemony sourness to it. Maybe that's what they got going on for them in Guatemala, you know? Lemony sour beer. Yeah, it's maybe half a hair better than the first one. Again, not good. So I waited to leave this one for last because this is supposedly a buck. There's like a little friar monk looking dude on a horse there on the label with a big old stein of beer. So maybe this is their interpretation of a true German beer. Guatemalan import. Moza, I guess you guys would pronounce it. Bock beer, product of Guatemala. On the back it says nothing new at all, same thing, brewed and bottled in Guatemala City. So, okay, well, let's see what the Bock is like. And again, it's a Bock, but yet it's a twist off. Yippee-ki-yay. Well, hell, at least this one's a better color. Hey. See, this is why I mixed and matched this 6-pack, but got the whole 6-pack of this stuff. Figure if I'm going to drink a crappy beer, let me drink a crappy Bock instead of a crappy, you know, Central American adjunct lager. Wow, look at this. This is almost black, man. Red around the edges. I cannot see through it. Get a very light little brownish tinge through it, but this thing is darkness, man. And as dark as it is, I'm not getting any caramel. I'm not getting any dark malty notes in the nose. I'm getting fizzy beer. And this isn't super cold out the fridge. It's had a chance to warm a little, especially with the interruption there. So, yeah. But, you know, let me hold off judgment until I taste it. Cheers. You know what they did? They took this beer, this lemony adjunct lager, and they squirted like malt syrup into it to make it dark. Because it doesn't, the body's not thick and rich. I mean, it's a little thicker, it's a little richer, but not what it should be, you know? It's still watery, it's still thin, it's still fizzy, it's still adjuncty and sour. And yet, it's dark as hell. Yeah, now I understand why these beers were $4.99 a six-pack plus the extra 5 cents off the fuel perks. These things suck. I would hope to hell, because I had it was a Brazilian, was it Brazilian? I think I had some Brazilian beer a year or so ago, and it actually had like fake artificial coloring in it. I hope this doesn't have that. If it doesn't, and this is still a, you know, traditional true brew, properly brewed beer, then this is the winner of the three. This, for all intents and purposes, is only a bit worse than, say, a Killian's or any other mass-produced dark beer. It's crappy, but it's not as off-putting and offensive as these little corn juices. Because these adjunct lagers, when you really come down to it, it's like fizzy corn juice, right? This has a little more character to it, gives you a little more reason to drink it. Still not that great, though. But maybe with a steak, you know, pair it with a decent meal, you know, especially if it's like a picnic or barbecue or something and you're outside and it's hot and you're eating and you need refreshment, something fizzy and tasty and yet still kind of light-bodied. This might be your bet. As far as how it compares to a real Bock, it doesn't. It's a very, 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 very bad attempt at a Bock, but still better than their attempts at, you know, making their version of a Bud Light, which is what these are. So, in summation, Guatemala does not make good beers, at least not from this brewery. This is their best one, and it's still a crappy beer. I love the country of Guatemala. I love their people. I love their culture. I love the ones who come to this country to make a better life for themselves and their family. You know, I commend that. But as far as their beer brewing tradition, it sucks ass. These beers, for the most part, pretty much suck ass. So I won't rate them because I've already told you they suck ass. There's no reason to rate them. If you come across them, you know, if you're in South Florida or wherever else they may be distributed, stay away. You can do a whole hell of a lot better. And if you're going to, if you're tempted, if you can't help yourself, the Mosa Bock is the one to go to. Stay away from Social because it's kind of antisocial, and stay away from Tecal because it just ain't that good. All right? That's it. I'm out of shit to say, and I have too much beer to drink that I really don't want to drink, so I don't know what the hell I'm going to do, but I'm out of here regardless. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more to come. Remember, Hoggie's Beer, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and all that good stuff. Add me, friend me, share me, you know, whore me, whatever. That's what I'm here for. I'll be back with more. You guys be good. Cheers.